Welcome everyone to this very first episode of our cybersecurity curriculum. My name is Vlad and I'm here to guide you through your cybersecurity journey and make cybersecurity more accessible to the general public. Together in this first episode, we are going to focus on the main properties of cybersecurity, what is it all about, and try to give you the main tools, the main understanding so that you can kickstart your cybersecurity journey. I have used provocatively the CIA, so the US Central Intelligence Agency. I have used their logo. It's just to say that there is a huge link between not actually the CIA, but the first letters. So the CIA. This corresponds to the main properties when we talk about cybersecurity. And here we will talk about the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I'm not saying that the CIA has nothing to do with cyber. There are plenty of things to do together. However, that's the easiest way to remember it. Every time that you think of cybersecurity, you should think of the CIA and you should remember confidentiality, integrity, availability. Now, in terms of definitions, the first one, the confidentiality, is really straightforward, quite easy. The idea is to protect the information from any unauthorized access, use, or disclosure. And it really starts with the access. And I really want to stress that because if we do an analogy with the real physical world, it's equivalent to trespassing. It doesn't matter if you have broken into a house, and even if you didn't steal anything, even if you didn't take picture, you are already trespassing. And that's a bit equivalent from a digital perspective. Having access and using that access, it's already a breach of confidentiality. Even if you are not extracting any data or copying any data, that's already a breach of confidentiality. Second property that we have is the integrity. So that might be a bit confusing for some of you, especially if you are absolutely new to cybersecurity. Maybe for you, integrity is the quality that we are expecting from our government officials or anyone that is involved in politics. Here, in the context of cybersecurity, we talk about data integrity. And the idea is that we want our data to be always reliable, always accurate, always consistent. So we want to preserve and protect this information throughout its life cycle against unlawful modifications or alterations. And finally, the third property is the availability. The idea is to always ensure that our information or our services are available to the rightful users when they need it. And that concludes the three main properties in cybersecurity. Again, CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability. You will see a lot of press articles, a lot of movies, etc. Every time that they talk about cyber attacks, most of the time they focus on the confidentiality, but you should remember that there might be some side effects, or sometimes the objectives of the hackers are actually to impact the availability, or rather to target the integrity. Just to highlight even further this example, I want you to imagine that you have a banking application on your mobile phone. I'm sure you have one. Maybe you have even several different providers. Here we are just using this illustration of a random banking application. The idea is that today on those applications, you would have an overview of your savings or the available balance on your account. That's in the middle. Sometimes you have graphs on the different payments that you are doing on a weekly or monthly basis. You can tag the different transactions in terms of cost center. Is it about car expenses, travel expenses, food expenses, etc.? You have the history of your payments, and you have even sometimes, as you can see on the left, your credit card information. Of course, the main objective of this banking application is to perform transfers, and that would be made available, for example, here on the right. Sometimes you also have menus to register your beneficiaries or manage them, add new beneficiaries, etc. There is usually a logo on the top left where you can access your own personal information, personal address, phone number, etc. So all of your private data combined with your user account. So let's say that, for example, for the sake of the illustration, I have managed to find my way into your mobile phone, and I have hacked your account in the sense that now I can freely access your banking application. So first thing, it's obviously a breach of confidentiality because even if I don't extract all of the information, I already have access, and as I said, I'm actively using it. So that's the first breach of information of confidentiality. If we push the scenario even further, maybe I can harvest more data about you, understand your spending habits, and maybe I can together craft a more sophisticated fraud. But that would be all scenarios around the confidentiality. What's sometimes even trickier, even nastier, would be attacks on the integrity. So let's say that, for example, I have compromised your account and I'm just waiting in the dark and I'm waiting for you to make your usual monthly payment. So you are making a transfer, for example, to John Alexander of $750, and I'm just waiting, and then as soon as you do and perform your transaction, I manage to catch it mid-flight. I catch your transaction and I can change some of its parameters. Maybe I can change the amount, maybe I can change the currency, maybe I can change the date of execution, but I can also change the beneficiary. And that's a typical example of integrity attack. I could maybe change some of the parameters while the transfer or while the instructions are being processed. Again, I'm not saying that this is something that can be easily done, but that's just to illustrate how integrity sometimes is even more critical than the confidentiality. People in the media, they always think of the confidentiality of their own data, but sometimes they are not aware of the integrity, and that can be actually even more impactful. And third, for the availability, as I have already access to your banking software and banking environment, maybe I can block your credit card, maybe I can change your password, maybe I can remove some of your accesses. And in the end, you would be in a degraded mode, if not kicked out entirely from your own account. And that would be a basic, let's say, denial of service in the sense that you no longer have access to the banking services. So these were just a high-level example, just to show you how those three properties can be impacted. Again, always think of CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If you understand fully those three properties, then you already know more about cybersecurity than perhaps 90% of the general population. So I hope you enjoyed this first video. Don't hesitate to share some feedback with me or drop a comment, and I will see you very soon in the second video. Thank you.